I think you see playmaking ability. I think you see a player that is confident in his skill set. So when you see that playmaking ability and inner confidence, you say, okay, there's something to work with there. So I think that's the thing that excites you. What you see on tape are those aspects, a very young player that really didn't grow up in a pro-style offense. It's not his fault. It's our job is to develop all the players.
That they get something here that they couldn't get anywhere else. Could they get stronger somewhere else? Yes. Could they get faster somewhere else? I guess. Can they get connected with their team? No. With their coaches? No, absolutely not. Can they get what we're doing schematically? Absolutely not. But we understand that it is voluntary.
The Cleveland Browns are in the middle of one of the most fascinating quarterback battles in recent NFL history. And the man at the center of it all, head coach Todd Monken, is not hiding how he feels. While this is technically a non-mandatory training period, meaning players are under no obligation to show up, what has unfolded inside the Browns facility has sent a very loud and very clear message about who is serious, who is committed, and who is already treating this like the most important opportunity of their football life. And right now, that person is none other than Shedeur Sanders. Let's set the scene. Non-mandatory means exactly that. Players are not required to be there. No fines, no penalties, no contractual obligations pulling them through the door. It is entirely voluntary. But here is the thing about voluntary work in the NFL. It tells coaches everything they need to know about a player's mindset. You can evaluate talent during the regular season. You can measure arm strength, accuracy, decision-making under pressure. What you cannot always measure is hunger. What you cannot always see on a stat sheet is the burning desire to be great, to outwork everyone else in the room, to be the first one in and the last one out. That is what non-mandatory training reveals. And that is exactly what Todd Monken has been watching very closely.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I wouldn't bring anybody else into that room. I would not include DeShawn Watson in this quarterback competition. I think it's a waste of time for everybody as far as what the Browns are trying to build. I also think it's chasing after justifying that decision and trying to make it look better than it actually was. It was the worst trade in NFL history. For Shedeur, I think it should be Dillon Gabriel versus Shedeur in camp. Shedeur wins that competition 100 times out of 100. He has a higher ceiling.
Shedeur Sanders has been in the building. He has been putting in the work. He has been immersing himself in the Browns system, learning the playbook, building chemistry with his teammates, and showing the kind of consistency that coaches dream about when they think of their franchise quarterback. While the rest of the world was focused on whether Shedeur belonged at this level, whether the son of Deion Sanders could handle the pressure of the NFL, Shedeur was quietly answering every single question, not with words, but with actions. Every day he walks into that facility, he is making a statement. Every rep he takes, every film session he sits through, every conversation he has with his offensive coordinator is another brick in the foundation of what is shaping up to be something truly special in Cleveland.
Evaluate him other than it's been great that he's been in the building. It's refreshing to see a player that recognizes where he's at.
Now let's talk about what has made this situation even more explosive. Todd Monken did not stay quiet about the players who were absent. He did not simply move on and pretend everything was fine. No, Monken made it crystal clear that being in the building matters, that presence is not something to be taken lightly, and that the players who are showing up every single day are the ones positioning themselves to lead this offense. And when he spoke about Shedeur, the tone in his voice said everything. This was not a coach giving a politically correct answer to protect everyone's feelings. This was a coach who has seen something in a young quarterback that genuinely excites him, and he is not afraid to let the world know it.
But we understand that it is voluntary. But I was fired up at the guys that were here. It was a great start.
The contrast with Dillon Gabriel could not be more stark. According to reports, Gabriel has not even been in contact with Monken since the new head coach took over. Let that sink in for a moment. You are in the middle of a quarterback competition for a starting job in the National Football League, a job that thousands of players would give anything for. And you have not reached out to your new head coach? You have not picked up the phone, sent a message, or walked into the building to introduce yourself and show that you are serious about winning this job. That is the kind of detail that coaches remember. That is the kind of detail that shapes decisions when the competition gets tight and the margin between starting and sitting on the bench becomes razor thin. Monken was not just frustrated. He was sending a message. and that message was directed right at Gabriel. Then there is the situation involving DeShawn Watson, who continues to exist in a complicated space within this organization. Watson's situation is unique for a variety of reasons, and his absence from non-mandatory training adds yet another layer of uncertainty to his standing with the team. While Watson carries the weight of being a former franchise quarterback and comes with significant contractual baggage, his lack of presence during this critical period speaks volumes. Monkin is building something new in Cleveland. He is establishing a culture, setting standards, and creating an environment where accountability is not optional. When your head coach is in the building, fired up, coaching hard, talking about the future of the franchise, and you are not there, it sends a message whether you intend it to or not.
That they get something here that they couldn't get anywhere else. Could they get stronger somewhere else? Yes. Could they get faster somewhere else? I guess. Can they get connected with their team? No. With their coaches? No. Absolutely not. Can they get what we're doing schematically? Absolutely not. But we understand that it is voluntary.
Peter Schrager, one of the most well-connected reporters in the NFL media landscape, has come out and made a bold declaration. He is saying that Shedeur Sanders is not just competing for the starting quarterback job, he is leading the race. He is ahead of both DeShawn Watson and Dillon Gabriel. Now, people can debate whether it is too early to make that call, whether the sample size is large enough, whether non-mandatory training should carry this much weight. But Schrager does not make these kinds of statements carelessly. He talks to people inside organizations. He has sources. And when he says that everything happening on the field and behind closed doors is backing up this claim, you have to take it seriously. What makes Schrager's reporting even more significant is what he found when he spoke directly with Todd Monken. The head coach was described as having an optimistic outlook on Shedeur's development. He hinted, and in some interpretations, more than hinted, that Shedeur could very well be the one leading this offense when the season kicks off. That is an extraordinary statement coming from a head coach at this stage of the offseason. Coaches are typically guarded about quarterback competitions. They talk about open competition, equal opportunity, letting the process play out. When a coach starts expressing genuine confidence in one player above the others, it is rarely accidental. Monkin knows exactly what he is saying and what he is communicating to the rest of the locker room and the entire NFL world. The Cleveland front office is also moving in a direction that tells a very clear story. General Manager Andrew Berry has made it known that the organization's priority is not bringing in another quarterback. They are not scouring the market. They are not making calls. They are not hedging their bets by adding another veteran arm to the mix. Instead, the Browns are focused on building out the receiving core, specifically targeting explosive wide receivers in the upcoming draft. Analyst Mel Kiper has noted that Cleveland is prioritizing pass catchers who can stretch the field and create opportunities downfield. This is not a coincidence. Teams do not build for a quarterback they do not believe in. You do not go out and invest in dynamic playmakers if you are unsure about who is going to be throwing them the football. The Browns are building an offense around someone, and every piece of evidence points to that someone being Shedeur Sanders. Names like KC Concepcion have been mentioned as potential additions, a young talent who could bring the kind of explosiveness that this offense desperately needs. Adding that kind of weapon to the roster is a vote of confidence in the quarterback, plain and simple. Last season exposed real issues in the Browns' passing game. Jerry Jeudy, despite his talent, had moments where he left points on the field, plays that should have gone for touchdowns, but simply did not materialize. The organization is not willing to accept that kind of inconsistency moving forward. They want options. They want depth. They want a receiving core that gives their quarterback multiple ways to attack a defense on any given play. That level of investment at the receiver position only makes sense if you believe your quarterback can actually utilize those weapons effectively.
Of a touchdown pass, it's an interception. Had several of those this year. Some unfortunate plays that didn't go their way because of drops. Harold Fannin Jr., young tight end, became the most dependable, reliable option for Shedeur throughout the season once he took over. You think about Jordan Tyson, what a great talent he is. He is a beast. I know about the durability concerns, but hey.
And that brings everything full circle back to Shedeur Sanders and what Todd Monken has been building in that facility during these non-mandatory sessions. Every day that Shedeur is in the building while others are not is a day where he is pulling further ahead in this competition, not just in the eyes of the coaching staff, but in the eyes of his teammates as well. Leadership is not announced, it is demonstrated. It is shown in the choices you make when nobody is forcing you to make them. When you show up voluntarily, when you put in extra work that nobody required of you, when you take every opportunity to learn and grow and connect, that is how you become a leader. Todd Monken has seen enough. The analysts have seen enough. The front office is building around what they believe is coming. Shedeur Sanders is not just competing for the starting quarterback job in Cleveland. He is earning it. One voluntary day at a time, one rep at a time, one moment of accountability at a time. And the players who chose to stay away during non-mandatory training are now watching from the outside as the future of the Cleveland Browns takes shape without them.